Alrighty. Hello YouTube, how's it going? Welcome over here to Fake Vlogs once again. And I guess the question that I have is, how do you smell like? Or what do you smell like? Do you even have a stench to yourself? So that's the question for today. So apart from actual human odor, I'm trying to say, like, do you smell like anything else? Is there anything that you put on? So like I mentioned earlier in this year, I had a New Year's resolution, which was to improve my hygiene. Not that it was bad, but it was just like, I wanted to smell good. Like I mentioned with the whole Dr. Squatch video. So apart from actual cleanness and showers and stuff, I got into fragrances. So apart from the whole actual hygiene aspect of it, these are the ones that I actually had before this New Year's resolution. So just kind of wanted to show you guys like, hey, these are the first three that I've ever had. Again, you know, I know this channel technically it's about vlogs and all that, but this is also about my life, and I just wanted to just let it out there, like, hey, these were the first ones that I got. Keep in mind that I used to wear Axe and, you know, the other cheap ones like way before, when I was like in middle school and sometimes in high school, but it's now where I really got into like some of the good stuff. Okay, I do want to make it clear, this is not going to be a fragrance / cologne channel. Okay, this is just, like I said, this was my New Year's resolution, was to try to smell better. So I'm collecting more colognes / fragrances. That's just the thing. You know, there's gonna be a couple videos about these, but that does not mean this entire channel is turning into that, you know. These are just gonna be showing you like, hey, these are the ones that I bought, and these are some of my favorites, and I'll have some fun activities here and there, but it's just, again, to make content, and just so that I can get into making videos, because the more that I do, the better I'm gonna get. But let me talk to you about the ones that I do have here. So over here we got the Dolce & Gabbana, the light blue Pomme Intense. So this is the EDT, which means eau de toilette. It doesn't mean toilet. And then we got the Sauvage Eau de Parfum, the Dior Sauvage, and this is Eau de Parfum. Yes, from the beginning. And then we got another Sauvage Dior Parfum. So let me tell you a quick little thing about this. Actually, it's funny. I didn't really, so as you saw, we got eau de toilette, we got eau de parfum, and then we got parfum, which is so funny because that's kind of the order of how they're supposed to be a lot better, I guess. But I initially thought that Sauvage Parfum and eau de parfum were the same thing. Just the only difference is that parfum has more of the actual notes in it rather than less water, if that makes sense. So I thought it was gonna be the same one. Little did I know that I was wrong about that. So I'm gonna make a separate video on that, but just keep in mind that these two are not the same, okay? They're still technically different. But without further ado, let's get started with the first one that I ever got. The first one that I ever got was the Sauvage Eau de Parfum. I got this in 2019, which is, I believe it's kind of when it came out. It's either 2019 or 2018 when this one came out. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I was a sucker when the Johnny Depp commercial came out. Him, you know, in the desert, low lights, wolves around him playing a guitar. I was like, wolves, that's badass. So that's the first time that I ever discovered this one. And then one day I was going into Macy's, and you know, I was like, oh, hey, do you guys by any chance have the Sauvage? And little did I know that they had it there. I smelled it and I was like, this actually smells really good. I'm like, ooh, dude, I think I want this. So this is my first one ever. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all right now, this is probably my favorite one that I have. It's not only my favorite, but it's also gonna be the most special one that I have. I'm kind of tying it to a special connection, especially with this bottle. So this is a 2 fluid ounce. And the reason this one's gonna be really special to me is because I was still going to school in 2019. So I didn't really have money, but I asked my mom if she could give me money so I can go buy one. And again, I didn't know which one was which, so I was like, just give me this one, right? From what I understand, this is probably the best one out of the line. Obviously, that's without having the elixir, which is another thing that I'll get into. But this is the one that I bought, and this was technically the one my mom bought, and obviously she just recently passed away, so this is why this one is dear to my heart. But regardless to that, this is, you know, how I I guess smelled when I was going out with Gavi, and which is my wife. And then so this is like to her, this is me in a sense. Now, there's been a couple things about this that apparently this is the really, 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 really hated fragrance out there in the world. Why? Because they got so popular that people, I guess, everyone and their mother started buying this for themselves. I'm not entirely sure if it was Eau de Parfum, but it's just the brand Sauvage. Because again, Sauvage has Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum, Parfum, and then the newest one, Elixir, right? So I guess it's a hated one because a lot of people have it. So something that I've been kind of seeing like on TikToks is that apparently people like to smell different than everyone else. They like to gatekeep is the thing is what they call it. So gatekeeping is practically keeping it kind of to yourself and not having it out there, right? So for example, if I were to wear this and someone would go up to me like, dude, what do you smell like? What if I told them I smell like Versace? So they're gonna go over and buy Versace thinking it's the same thing, maybe, or else they might smell like, this isn't the same thing. But I guess that's gatekeeping, not kind of getting it out there, which is, I guess, they're trying to prevent a Sauvage. But again, I bought Sauvage before this whole TikTok thing kind of blew up where everyone was wearing it. I bought it legit just because I saw a commercial, went to Macy's, I bought it, and I loved it, okay? I wore it at school for a long time, and apparently, yeah, it just gets hated, which I don't understand why. It smells so good, in my opinion, of course, which is why it's also my favorite. Again, since I'm not a fragrance / cologne channel or anything, I'm still learning about this. Again, this is a process of me learning about some of the cologne / perfumes, which is why, again, I'm doing this, right? Just to make sure I can learn and record this like, hey, this is my process, this is what I'm learning. But the notes for this one, so again, each one has like a top note, a middle note, and then a base note, right? So the top note for the Sauvage Eau de Parfum is bergamot, and the middle notes are pepper, lavender, star anise, and nutmeg. And then finally the base note, it is ambroxan and vanilla. And I think the part of it that I really enjoy is the ambroxan and the vanilla part, because it's the dry down, which is obviously when you spray, it smells kind of distinct from anything else. Once you give it some time, it starts kind of switching its scent, and then finally the dry down, which is like, hey, like this is where it's been absorbed and this is what it's going to smell like for a couple of hours, right? So it's the ambroxan and vanilla that I believe is what I enjoy about this one. And honestly, this one is long lasting, to be quite honest. I'll be honest with you, I never got any compliments. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just weird, but I just really love this one, okay? Now, another thing that you can categorize this as is earthy and woody, you know, citrusy and woods. And then again, the keynotes would be like bergamot, vanilla, and nutmeg. So really, really, really good. Obviously, they have different variety of sizes and bottles. I'm gonna make a video about if size matters for cologne / perfumes, but I got lucky that I got the 2 ounce. Honestly, this lasted me, I want to say up to 3 years, because again, I'm not crazy about it, right? It's just like I spray some and that's kind of it. I'm not trying to go out there and have like 20 people go like, oh, do you smell? It's just 1, 2, 3, that's it. So Sauvage, this one's very dear to me, the bottle specifically, but definitely gonna try to get a refill for this one. Next up, like I mentioned earlier, I got the Sauvage Parfum thinking it was gonna be the same thing, just it was gonna last longer. But little did I know that it was a little bit different. It took me a while to actually realize that, like, you know what? This actually smells a little bit different than what I expected. This was a 1 fluid ounce. I just wanted to test it out to see if it was gonna be a lot better, because the parfum, so it goes from Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum, and then the Elixir. Each category is a lot more expensive than the next one, right? So I was like, let me see if it's actually worth it. If not, I can just get another Eau de Parfum. So Gabby and I ended up going to Ulta that day, and I ended up getting this one. It was a little more on the expensive side, but still pretty good. But like I said, it's not the same as Eau de Parfum, so you gotta be careful on that. Again, I'll be making another video about that. And then the Sauvage Parfum was actually launched in 2019. And the top notes for this one is bergamot, mandarin orange, and elemi, which I don't even know what that means. I'll be honest, quite honest with you. The middle note is sandalwood, and then the base notes are olibanum, tonka bean, and vanilla. So definitely the dry down to this one is a lot different than what I kind of first thought. This one is more, again, kind of the same thing as Sauvage. It's on the earthy and woody type. So the fragrance family for this would be earthy and woody. And then for the scent type, citrus and woods. And then the keynotes, obviously mandarin, tonka bean, and sandalwood. So as you can see, different scents, I guess, ingredients compared to Eau de Parfum. So you just gotta be careful on that. A lot of people say that this is actually the worst one out of the entire line. I have not smelled the Eau de Toilette, which is I guess the cheapest one. I definitely want to try to get that one and try to collect all of them, because again, this is a special brand for me, because like I said, my mom bought me the first one, so it is my favorite one as well. You know, it is the most hated, but whatever. I did actually try the elixir today, and OMG, I think I'm in love with that one. So I'm gonna try to buy that one soon as well, but just again, be careful with which one you get. And let's move on to the next one. And then the final of the three that I had in here, this is the Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Pour Homme Eau de Toilette. So Eau de Toilette is the cheapest. You know, it's got a couple of the fragrance in there and a lot more water in a sense, so it doesn't last as long. Funny story with this one is, you know how they send those little scent cards to your house, you know, by mail from Ulta/Sephora, whatever. This was actually one of those, and I smelled that like little glue thingy that they have in there. I smelled it, I was like, "Ew, this actually smells really good." So the same day that I went to Ulta with Gabi to buy the Sauvage, I saw it and I was like, I think I'm gonna buy it. So I did actually buy the 1.3 fluid ounce. I wish I would have gotten the bigger one. Again, at the time, I did not know the whole Eau de Toilette / Eau de Parfum. So apparently there is a Eau de Parfum version of these. Usually the Eau de Parfum is the one that smells the most, because it's more money, but it also stays a lot longer and projects more, if that makes sense. So again, you know, projecting means that like other people can smell it, right? But this is actually one of my favorite aquatic ones, which is like fresh, right? The other ones are more woody / wintry. This one's more of a, obviously like a summer vibes to me. So definitely going to be using a lot more. I actually ended up using this one for the wedding. So hopefully she liked it, but she likes this one as well. Again, there's more variety. There's other ones as well, which is kind of weird, like different mixtures in there, but definitely light blue is one of those. And then again, the notes that I'm reading for this, the top notes are grapefruit, bergamot, Sicilian mandarin, and juniper. The middle notes are pepper, rosemary, and Brazilian rosewood. And then finally, the base notes, the dry down, are musk, incense, and oak moss. Okay, so from what I'm kind of seeing, this is an old one. This isn't something that's new. But again, in the fragrance family, this is fresh. And then the scent type, this is fresh aquatics with, again, the keynotes, juniper, mandarin, oak moss, and aquatic notes. So that's another thing, that some of these are kind of meant for more in the summer / winter, right? So obviously this being aquatic, it's more in, I guess, springish summer. Again, still learning, right? But definitely a really good one. So as you'll see from later in other videos, some of these are kind of similar to others, you know. Something that I noticed, this is kind of similar to Acqua di Gio, the original one, but obviously this one's a little bit better because it's a lot newer. Acqua di Gio is a lot older, you know, but definitely smells really good. So here's my tip. If you were to ever actually go buy one, I would definitely go to the stores, but don't buy it from the stores, buy it from online discounters. Now, I do want to make it clear that since this is when I was still learning about fragrances and colognes and stuff, these were actually bought from store, right? So Macy's and then both of these from Ulta. But now knowing more experience, I wouldn't really recommend buying these in store just because they're a lot more expensive. You can look them up on retailers online, but you got to be careful, make sure they're legit, right? But just kind of letting you guys know, like, these are the only ones that I bought in store. The other ones that are going to be coming up next in other videos, those are from other retailers, which I got them from like half price, and they smell still really good. So just be careful on that. Also, some sites can be sketchy, but just if they have PayPal, make sure you pay with PayPal. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to conclude this video. As you guys can see here on screen, these are going to be the ones that I'm going to be talking about in the next video. I'm doing each video by threes. As you guys can see, the shapes start getting a little bit more weird, right? But these are the next ones that I'll be talking about. Some good ones and some colognes that are pretty cheap but still smell really good. And the question again, what do you smell like? Let me know down in the section below. And if you're like me that you want to get into fragrances, just let me know and I can make other videos as well. But again, this is not going to be a fragrance channel, just letting you guys know. But for the moment, peace.